Alright, so today we are going to be talking about our new 4-star cryo polearm, which is Mika. Mika is going to be our next in line for the specific archetype buffers for physical. So we are going to be talking about him, what he does, why it's a good thing that he is able to not be on a banner with Eula. That is also a good thing to know. We are going to be explaining why very soon. And also, one real quick second, if you haven't already watched the Ayaka or Shenhe videos, if you're like basically on the fence about both of those characters, all you need to learn if you know the weapon or the constellations are worth it, make sure to go give those a look, and also make sure to leave a sub and like if you're enjoying the Genshin content. But let's go back and talk about Mika, our next 4-star, which is going to be appearing with Shenhe and Ayaka. So Mika is going to be our physical buffer, which is the next in line for the 4 stars that are going to buff a specific archetype. We have Faruzan, Gorou, and Sara. You know, Sara doing Electro, Gorou doing Geo, and Faruzan doing Anemo. We're missing Pyro, we're also missing Hydro, and we're also missing Cryo. So yeah, there's a lot of elements that are very strong that haven't got the support yet because it would be honestly super busted. But we're going to be looking at this in the future, and hopefully, you know, maybe we get those type of characters. But we're going to be talking about the skill and the ult from Mika, and then we're going to be talking about why it's a good thing that Eula isn't here with Mika. First, starting off with his skill. His skill is going to help you get your attack speed increased, and of course with the attack speed being increased, this is going to help Eula get her stacks by a good amount. It's going to give her more stacks to be able to do more damage from her burst, because as you may know, Eula needs normal attacks to hit enemies to increase her stacks, and with the attack speed increase, which is something that comes from her Song of Broken Pines, her signature Claymore, and if Mika's giving her attack speed increase as well, and maybe you can put in Yunjin as well, all of these attack speed bonuses are going to allow you to get more stacks on your Eula, which in turn is going to make you do more damage with Eula. So this is really cool to know about. Other than that, when you do end up getting the burst out, the burst is going to be helping with healing. So this is going to be your survivability unit and a buffer unit, so this is a pretty good 2-in-1 for physical teams. This is going to help a lot, but I still don't think physical is going to be all that crazy. Yes, it's going to be something fun to use, something to play with, and of course if you want to play with physical, if physical is your main team, there's nothing wrong with that. But I still think even with Mika, we might not get the absolute best thing in the world when it comes to, you know, physical being meta, because Dendro is so freaking strong with Hyper Bloom, Burgeon, the Dendro core mechanic as a whole. It's just a crazy basically time for Genshin right now, where physical and Geo are kind of sinking in the water compared to all these other teams. So talking about Mika and why it's important that he's not on Eula's banner is because there's a thing I like to say about joined at the hip units. So if you may notice, a lot of these units that are in the game or 4 stars that are specific to the archetype are stuck with a certain character on their banner. Now we only have 2 at the moment that I know for sure are 100% joined at the hip, because they have not released on any other banner but a signature 5-star, and they're always with that 5-star on their banner. And then there's one that's a maybe. Sara Kujoh is always on the banner with Raiden Shogun and has not appeared on another banner besides with Raiden Shogun. So basically the Electro support is with the Electro Archon, or the Electro, you know, premier main top unit. So that is something that is kind of annoying when you have joined at the hip units, because if you already have the unit or you already have constellations for that unit, you kind of have to summon for that unit again just to get constellations on that specific 4-star, and not being able to get a featured 4-star, you know, on another banner where you might summon for a new character is kind of frustrating. So we do have Sara Kujoh with Raiden Shogun at all times. At the current moment, Arataki Ito ends up with Gorou, so Gorou is going to be stuck with Ito for the foreseeable future, most likely. Of course, this is not, you know, factual, it's not solid, but for every single time that Kujoh Sara and Gorou have been on their banners, they've always reran with Raiden Shogun and Arataki Ito specifically. So it is kind of upsetting when that happens, when 4 stars are connected to those units, because yes, it makes sense, have the premier Lightning or the premier Geo unit run with the support units, but at the same time it makes it a lot harder for people to get those constellations, just because the only way they can get is an off rate, you know, pull, or they're gonna have to summon on the banner of a character they already have. Now for me, I do think Faruzan might be stuck with Wanderer, only because, you know, Wanderer is the top DPS for Anemo most likely, or they're trying to build it up to be like that, and Faruzan dropped with Wanderer. So it's a possibility whenever Wanderer reruns that we might see Faruzan again, and they will know for sure that when Wanderer comes, Faruzan comes. And that's kind of upsetting for real, for sure, because I do like using, you know, certain animal units, and having Faruzan, and I love her design, and having Faruzan not be able to be reran with other characters besides Wanderer is going to be a little upsetting, because I really don't want Wanderer Constellation. So the good thing about Mika is that since he's going to be the physical support unit, and he's supposed to mirror Sara, Gorou, Faruzan, I'm glad that they put Ayaka and Shenhe together, because those aren't physical units. Those are cryo units. So we don't have a cryo DPS in the form or fashion of Gorou, Faruzan, Sara, and Mika. So we are most likely, hopefully, going to get Mika on other rerun banners. And this is going to be really good for Mika, because it's going to allow a lot of players to be able to C6 him at a certain point. To be able to, you know, enjoy having that C6 with Eula. And I'm pretty sure possibly that Mika is going to go crazy with Eula. So this is what they're building up Mika to be, you know, that Eula saver. Although Dendro's a little too strong right now. Pyro strong, Hydro strong. Electro got a buff with Dendro. So yeah, physical isn't doing so well. Neither is Geo, because they didn't get no new reactions with Dendro. And they haven't seen a lot of support or new releases to help their archetype either. Physical, getting Mika is a good step in the right direction, but overall not the craziest thing in the world when it comes to you know, buffing that archetype. I think physical needs a lot more to be able to be a meta team in Genshin. Of course, you could probably still 36 star the Abyss with physical teams. Might be a little difficult with a lot of the shields that they have up in the later floors of the Abyss, but physical at the moment, you know, it's probably possible to 36 star with it. It's just that you will probably find yourself having a lot less trouble, or it being a little bit easier, if you're running the basic Dendro teams, the basic Pyro teams, you know, Hydro teams, all these other teams that don't take a lot of investment, like Hyper Bloom teams don't really take a lot of investment to make them running and do nasty amounts of damage. And if you have premier units to replace those substitutes in the Hyper Bloom teams, in the Aggravate teams, in these Dendro Center teams, then you're probably going to end up dumpstering on the Abyss anyway. So yeah, it's nice that Mika's coming. It's nice that he's becoming the physical support to, you know, make Eula breathe air again, make her at least go above the water just for a bit. I do hope they rerun Eula sooner than later, because having Mika right now and then not having Eula, it is a little bit weird. But I'm glad that Mika is not on the same banner with Eula, because that would have meant that he would never be able to rerun on other characters. So again, like I said, not a 100% fact, not 100% a 100% correct statement, but so far all these elemental or archetype dedicated supports have always rerun with their premier unit. You know, Sara with Shogun, Gorou with Ito, Faruzan Wanderer is a possibility, we don't know yet. And then Mika, if Eula would have came, that would have been terrible. But since Mika's with Shenhe and Ayaka, I have high hopes that he is going to rerun with other characters, so that'd be really nice to have. But other than that, that's going to be it with this video. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the end. Hopefully Mika, you know, lets me have fun with Eula again. I remember using her a long time ago and I was having a lot of fun, and now, you know, she doesn't feel as fun anymore. So hopefully this breathes some air into Eula comps, and I can't wait to showcase Eula again with you know, maybe hopefully a C6 Mika. Probably not, I just want one copy. But thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the next one, and peace.